Nothing stays the same for long. Please be patient and know that at this time there is much darkness being unveiled on earth. And with this darkness being unveiled, decisions and choices will feel forced upon you to move, to relocate, to downsize, to live in smaller quarters, maybe to live off grid or even van life. But know that nothing lasts forever, and it is important to feel if a decision is best rather than stepping off and thinking it is best and finding out later it may not have been worth it. Thinking, oh, I'm going to go and do van life for a year, or I'm going to move off grid, or I'm going to head off to Spain. I'm going to take off and I'm going to get on a spaceship and leave Earth. Just kidding. Here is some channel guidance from my guardian angel on this topic. So how can we tell which place is best to move to? So the answer is not what you think is best, but rather what you feel is best. So a lot of us are up in the head a lot of the time, and many times over, I've done this myself where I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll go do van life. It's going to be amazing. Or I'm going to go off on an adventure and I'm going to take off over here this summer. And instead of sitting quietly and feeling if the energy is supporting that, I just stay up in my head and I book the tickets and off I go. And there have been moments where I've learned afterwards that this isn't the best. This isn't the best decision. It wasn't the best decision to go to Kauai over COVID days and quarantine for 2 weeks. Okay. So it was lovely. It was wonderful. I had to cut the trip short. It wasn't 100% what I was anticipating. And I wish that I had sat and really listened to the guidance. And the guidance was saying, you can if you wish, but we'd rather you not. And I was like, okay. But I went off and did it anyways. Okay, so there's a difference between being up in the head and being in the heart. So what does it mean when people say, oh, get out of your head? Get out of your head. What it means is create stillness in your mind long enough for your heart to feel so that your chest, your heart chakra, your sacral chakra can feel the answer, the guidance. If it feels tight and pulled back and you might be feeling a little bit of nausea, that answer is a no. If it's nice and open, you're getting butterflies, your chest is nice and relaxed, you even feel like getting up out of your chair, the answer is yes. If you get this response, which is the response that I received before heading off to Kauai, is your chest tight and open, tight and open. You can if you wish, because it's your free will choosing, but we'd rather you just hang back and wait. But I didn't listen. I took off on the plane and off I went. Now, heading off on a trip, a vacation, is a lot different than just getting and packing up your entire life and moving off into a different destination. And I'm not saying that it's not right, but what I'm saying is feel it before you do it. And a lot of times I'm seeing online people heading off, moving across country, and then they realize, oh, the grass isn't as green on the other side. It isn't best to maybe pack up my life and head to a completely different location. So instead of thinking it's the best idea, feel it. Quiet the mind, stop the chatter, and feel in the body. Many on earth think that something is a good idea, but rather than feeling first before taking action steps to make the move, the relocation, or any other decisions in their lives, well, then they learn the hard way. Okay, so it's really important to feel it rather than being up in the head and thinking it. The hope from the angels is that you will feel it is a good decision. So feel it. So does it feel good or not? Yes or no? And if you can't pin it down, you can always ask a loved one in your family, maybe a loved one that's more heart-centered or one that has less chatter in the mind, and we can all feel together. Many times the grass always seems greener on the other side. However, there are many other events, decisions, choices, etc. in motion. So you think it's best on the other side. You think that that's the best decision, but there are other things taking place and transpiring. Nothing stays the same for long. Please be patient and know that at this time there is much darkness being unveiled on earth. And with this darkness being unveiled, decisions and choices will feel forced upon you to move, to relocate, to downsize, to live in smaller quarters, maybe to live off grid or even van life. But know that nothing lasts forever, and it is important to feel if a decision is best rather than stepping off and thinking it is best and finding out later it may not have been worth it or the best decision to have made. How do we know which location is best to move to? So how do I know? So you probably got it narrowed down to, I'm assuming, at least 5 locations on the map. And what you can do is the same thing that I do, but we can do it with our angel cards. We can do it when we are looking at maybe a spring water store online and we got our hands up. You can go to the crystal shop and decide, well, which crystal is best for me. You can do it. Then you can do it with everything. But when we're talking about moving or relocation, we get a map open. We've got the 5, at least 5, I'm assuming, different locations that you're thinking about moving to. Hold your hand up and quiet your mind. Okay? And just hover your hand above the map and see where your soul, your energy, your higher self is going to guide your hand. It's not going to move your hand there. You're just going to move your hand and see where the energy is pulling your fingers down or where you feel like a magnetic pull or tingling in your fingertips. And you can try and practice this over and over. And before you use the map, you can even use angel cards or whatever else you want to use. Go to the crystal shop, go to wherever you're going to go, where you have to make a choice, a decision. You can hold it up against your laptop screen or even over your phone. But having a map and having it all circled in front of you is a great way for you to let your soul guide your hand. And then you're going to practice feeling yes or no for each location. One thing that I've come to realize is many times over in my own personal life, I think something's a good idea. I think it's a great idea. Keyword, think. And then when I get there, it's not. It's not a great idea. Other times, it's more of a feeling or a pull to take me there. And I know it's divinely guided. And I know it's my soul telling me, go in this direction. And then I just jump and I go. And it ends up being the best decision I ever made. And it's really important to make these decisions based on your energy being conducive for the location in which you are thinking about moving to, because you don't want to end up moving your entire life to a location or a part of the world that vibrationally is not a good match for you. Here's the other thing I want to suggest that has come through readings over the years. Just like we do job shadowing, just like I've done job shadowing, does it energetically feel good being here, doing this? And so it's really important, just like on the job shadowing, that you do relocation shadowing, where you get up You go to the location that you're thinking about moving to, and you spend a month there. Maybe you spend 2 months there. You get to know the locals. You get to know the laws. You get to know the rights, the wrongs, the behaviors that are appropriate for that location, the vibrational frequency of the land, the vibrational frequency of the people, the food that they offer. Do you enjoy eating that food? Or is that food a bit stagnant and there's not much of a selection and the water isn't very clean there and you don't seem to resonate with the people all that much? You need to do relocation shadowing where you go check it out long before you uproot your entire life and all of your belongings to go move to a location that is just not suited for you or your family. To a location for a month and suss it out, and then go and speak with other people living there that have maybe moved from your country and ask them how they like it. How has it been for you? And arrange to meet up with them. At least, I would say, how many do you think? At least 5, I would say, but maybe even upwards of 10. So go and speak with these people. Ask them how they enjoy living there. So Lance, you're saying that your energy is not compatible to where you live in Florida? Yeah, I felt that way too. I went down twice to get my teeth done. I couldn't wait to leave. It was not conducive to my energy. And I noticed when I would go to the grocery stores, like the selection of produce was not comparable to what I have where I am now. And I was like, oh boy. So I just made do with the time that I was there, and then I jetted off on a jet plane. Okay, so you've been there 12 years, and now your family's moved there and you feel trapped. No one's really trapped. And who knows, you could move to a place that you love and your family could follow suit and move there. I've seen people recently moving from Arizona, had lived there her whole life and moved off to Michigan and was so enjoying the trees and the water and the 4 seasons. Forest fires in Kelowna, but you really enjoy living. Mountains and lakes. And what I've noticed, because I have lived in Kelowna for 4 years in the past, and when I go back to visit over the summer holidays, I've really noticed it's so much drier there than it once was. But where do you go if you want to have a hot holiday, other than obviously Hawaii or somewhere maybe down in California, etc.? But what I've really noticed is by August, it's forest fire time. And like, it's every year. When I lived there, back in 2002, we didn't have forest fires. Every summer was not a forest fire year. And now it's every year. So I think the concern is, what's going to happen? I remember a forest fire, big one hit, on the far side of the bridge the year after I moved. And then I've just noticed if I go to visit, it's in July. It's never in August because of the chronic forest fires that are happening. This is what I've always said in life. The reality of something versus my thoughts on it or my interpretation of it. So sometimes I'm seeing through rose-colored glasses, and the reality is different than how I'm viewing it through my glasses. And the reality sometimes can be quite a shocker. So for me, I won't live in Kelowna again, but I like to go visit in the summer months to enjoy the hot sun and the sand and the beaches and the water, but I won't live there. And I see a lot of people making decisions out of what they think is best or fear or thinking that the way things are now are going to last forever. And what I'm receiving is this severity and this uncomfortable situation that we're living in right now is not going to last forever. I'm also receiving where there's a will, there's a way. And I know that a lot of you would say, well, unless you're making $100,000, which is true. I'm not disputing that. But if you are going to move, make sure that you take it very seriously and move to the right location. All right, everyone. Mwah. Have a wonderful Mother's Day and a wonderful weekend. Bye.